Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Gabriel, for this introduction. My name is Stefano Rosso. I've lived all my life in the fashion industry, and I started a couple of years ago a new company in the gaming and lifestyle environment called DK. I'm really happy to be here today because I will be joining and talking on this first panel with three amazing people that have started their own company in technology, music, fashion, and it's called Public Pressure. But I would like them to introduce themselves because they have all very honorable and interesting backgrounds. Maybe starting with the ladies first. Yes. Francesca, would you like to go?
Yes, thank you, Stefano. Thank you, Gabriel, for having us. And I'm Francesca Versace. I've lived in London for many years. I studied at Central St. Martin's Fashion Design and Marketing. And I was breathing fashion all my life in my family, and then I did some work collaborations throughout Milan, London, and Asia. And here I am exploring a new project with my founders and friends as well.
Thank you, Gabriel, to invite us here. I'm Giulia Maresca. I'm the CEO of Public Pressure. I also studied in fashion in Milano at Marangoni, and I worked many years as a creative director for luxury brands. And from this year, I decided to start this new adventure with music and NFT. So we are here talking about it.
Hello, everyone. Great meeting you. My name is Sergio. I was born in Milan, lived all my life in London, more than 22 years, so I grew up, I think, in a very progressive and innovative culture, moved in innovation for the last 15 years plus, and I had a brief life in institution and government, working specifically on blockchain legislation and regulation, and that's the link to the project that we're doing together in the blockchain space. I'll leave it back to you.
Fantastic. Thank you. So the first question goes to the creative side and heart of this project, Francesca and Giulia. Can I ask you why you decided to jump from a world that is so glamorous like fashion into this new technological world of NFTs and music?
Yeah, so we all want to be rock star, right, Giulia?
Yeah, I think so. So the thing, when we saw NFTs coming out on the market, mainly for art, we saw like a new space, a new format for music to be explored, and that's why we decided to found Public Pressure, because it's a new way for musicians to sell their art, but also combining with different form of arts as fashion brand, lifestyle brands, and all the brands that can be associated with music. So that's why we are here, and it's a really creative space, as fashion is, but it's in a new really way, and also it's a good way to discover new talents in all the creative fields, from music to fashion and to arts. So that's why we really believe in that as a new way to be creative.
Fantastic. And Sergio, your background is a little bit different, more into technologies and innovation. You've been as well CEO and head of the innovation for the state of San Marino. Why and what brought you to the table to work with these two amazing ladies?
I think that the process was somehow natural. I think it started when I've been in crypto for over 6-7 years. So when you are in the space, you start seeing what is the new trend, what is the new hot things coming up, and NFTs have been on the press and on the growth for the last I would say 12 months, 18 months, reaching a peak I think this June. And that's how, since we know each other like from over 20 years, and that's where, I don't know, I had an intuition, and I talked to Giulia and Francesca, and I said, what do you girls see NFTs? I mean, do you see an opportunity? And then we came together. What I cover mainly is, if you want, the strategic part, blockchain, business modeling, crypto, then maybe we can explore it a little bit more more in details. But that's the kind of input I'm bringing on the table.
And talking about fashion, I mean, fashion to us is our most valuable aspect. And so with the NFTs, we want to give like musicians and musicians like a new way, new faster way to collaborate with lifestyle brands, various brands, and I found it more refreshing to be on the entertainment side at the moment, and so to have music at its center, we give the voice to musicians, and let's do this cross-cutting project involving different communities, different experiences, and like exploring the digital world as well as the physical world. And then we can go more into the details about.
I'm very interested about that aspect.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you something. Sorry, yes?
Could you please explain just what the venture does? I mean, what's the...
Exactly.
Sure. So would you mind explaining to the public that want to understand what does your company effectively do? Because I think I was not good enough in introducing the full spectrum of the company, its scope of work, and what type of business model you have.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe you can...
Public Pressure is like an NFT marketplace on the vertical of music. So we're going to sell NFT with like leading is going to be the musician and music, but we want to create different NFTs. So we're going to create NFTs with a high quality. So we try to build up with different fields of creativity, also from fashion and movies companies. So we're going to have the visual part made from artists, from fashion, from artists like artists, 3D artists, movie companies, and the musician, like let's say we're creating NFTs with a famous singer, and we put it with a fashion brand that is going to work together, and they're going to create a new NFT. So that's the kind. It's a marketplace, vertical music mainly.
But is it a marketplace, or do you initiate the NFTs yourselves?
So we are also we have a creative team inside. So we help musicians to create their NFT if they need help from us, because some musicians they need help for the visual part. So we combine the visual part, working with fashion brand and automotive brand too, lifestyle. And some of them, they don't need it. Like we're working with Maximo from The Prodigy, and he's an artist too. So he's going to create his own music, always unreleased music, attached with the visual part that he's going to create. Other musicians, they don't know what to do. So we help them with our team. We have also a team in LA that won 5 Grammy Awards for all the videos, like Beyoncé, Kendrick Lamar, all this, like almost everyone. And they have a lot of visual artists that can bring their art on the table and create unique NFTs together.
I hope that solved the problem, sorry. And so going back to you, Sergio, I have one question that it's in my stomach, being for a few months going in and out. What's going to happen with the regulation of crypto? How is this going to go in the next months? Because there is a lot of talking from different governments. Everybody have a different approach. As you are an expert on this and work on the government side, how do you see this going?
Wow, that's the easy one. But I mean, it's difficult to imagine, because regulation, it's about somehow, I mean, philosophy in a certain way. It's the approach that drives the law that you're going to do. And that was the initial process I did back in San Marino. What kind of approach as a state we're gonna have, you know, what kind of economic development we want to achieve. So it really depends on what the drivers behind the regulation. Like China, I think he has a very clear driver, which is controlling everything about everyone living in China. So it's cool that we have crypto. Now we got our central bank digital currency, and we're gonna ban all the other ones so everyone can adopt ours, so we can control even better than before. I'm sorry, I'm being provocative. Tell me if I'm too provocative.
No, absolutely.
But I mean, at least that's the way that I look at it. So it's very difficult to imagine philosophically how countries are going to decide to act. US has been, I don't know, quite aggressive in a lot of speech, but then effectively, I mean, we have Coinbase, which is listed on the NASDAQ. We got MicroStrategy, which is a listed company that invested 4.5 billion in Bitcoin. And we are wondering whether it's more of a Bitcoin ETF than a technology company listed. I hope they're going to understand that Bitcoin and crypto are a better monetary system than what we got today. So the driver is going to be for the greater good, and the driver is going to be about understanding how to integrate this technology innovation into our lives. And it's not going to be about protecting lobbies, protecting existing traditional businesses like banks, but it's going to be a very open and intellectual approach to the regulation. That's what I hope on my side.
I hope that as well. Otherwise, all this volatility that it's bringing a lot of value as well to traders could go out in a minute out of the window. Giulia, a lot of people, talks about NFTs, but probably not a lot of people it's already adapting, using it. It's probably around 5% of the people even in this room might have an NFT asset. Not everyone. It's an owner and a user. But in your experience, what do you think is more important when we talk about NFT? Is it the technological aspect of it, or is it the creativity and the creative concept and the content behind it?
I think it's a synergy of the two, because without the technology we cannot create NFTs, and at the same time with the creativity, of course, we see a lot of NFTs in the market with no sense, and you ask why is the value so high. So why we believe as public pressure that NFT should be like a high quality in terms of what we're going to sell. So we believe, of course, in creativity, since we're coming both from fashion, but at the same time, technology, it's a really important aspect. And also with technology, you can do creative tools as gamification. So like, for example, you can create, a musician can divide the beats of a song, and then he can sell in each individual beats on a different NFTs, and then you can combine the two NFTs and create a new one. So in a way, there are two things together, the creativity of the musician with the technology. So I think it's together work really well, actually.
And this market is very speculative at the moment. Do you see in the future this being still the trend to get such a high demand and high movement, or do you think the more creativity will go in, the more usage will come in, and the drivers of the market will be more linked to what you actually will do and can physically do with this asset?
Yeah, we think so, because that's why we found public pressure, because it's a new format for musicians to sell their arts, and we believe that it's going to be for everyone. So that's why we're going to accept also in the platform of fiat currency, not only crypto. So it's for the super fan. So it's a really new format for musicians and artists to sell their art. So everyone, I think, they're going to collect NFTs and listen music buying NFTs. So it's going to be, I think it was a bubble in February, March. Like it was a huge bubble. Mm-hmm. Like Steve Aoki sold an NFT for almost $900,000. And for a 20-second loop, and you say, okay, but why? So it's too much, I agree with you. But I think it's going to be for everyone, and like in a year, probably, in a year and a half, not so long.
Yeah, there was for a while this first of
Yeah, in
moment.
March, it was February, March, it was crazy with Steve Aoki, Blau, Grimes. They did Grimes, she did 6 million like in 24 hours. And it's like, why? Like, of course, she's an amazing artist, but then like later you see April, May, and now the bubble is lower. There is few of them like CryptoPunk that are really high. So there are things that they're still like crazy, but we think it's going to be a long-term vision for everyone.
And Francesca, fashion, it's a lot of our background. It's opening now their eyes to this new world. And we know our industry comes from a very tangible world. So we tend to do things, touch it, feel it, see it, and then eventually acquire it. But how do you see the adoption of these digital assets versus the physical world that we know so well?
we are moving towards anyway to more sustainable aspect, and the NFTs are non-fungible tokens, so they're digital, while the physical objects, like after NFT, we can combine an NFT with something physical that is redeemable. And for example, my skills haven't changed of what I was doing before. I still have the same skills as I had in fashion. I do the same thing, because working in the digital world means also being creative, doing this cross-cutting project, and to be able to give opportunities to the visual artist, to for example, the user or the consumer, and the team itself of Public Pressure to do like a teamwork and involve all the communities. So it includes various fields, and I think fashion can have fun with it, and vice versa. So it creates also a more valuable aspect to something physical that is a longer way to have it, because it has more value and is more unique. But for sure, fashion can adapt, because fashion and music has always been related, since the beginning. And as a little girl, I had passion for listening to the best CDs or having lunch with Take That themselves. I wanted to bring this passion of mine into something new challenge, music, and why don't I have my wallet and start to collect something on my own that I can save for life if I want to. So it's all connected, I think. Yeah.
It's quite interesting, and I live it also personally. I see how our industry is probably coming now, but they're almost the late adopters versus other industries that have moved way quicker into it. Gaming, of course, being the first ones out of all. I wanted to touch now an argument that it's more about you three as being entrepreneurs, because it's not a common thing, A lot of people work all their life for someone else, but becoming an entrepreneur is definitely is another venture. So I wanted to explore more this side of your journey. So explain to the public, how does a company from 3 people start? Is it just magic? Do you see an opportunity? How do you guys...
But actually we are in 4. It's missing the 4th founder, that is Alfredo Violante, that founded Public Pressure in 2016. And Public Pressure was born as a magazine for underground music.
Online magazine.
Yeah, and it's online magazine for underground music. And we had this vision about a new format for musicians, and the 3 of us, and with Alfredo, we decided to take the brand of Public Pressure, because it's an online magazine that has like almost 2 million subscribers, and to bring what he created in the last few years in a new marketplace with this vision to sell music with a new format. So that's that venture that we are in together. We are now a big team working this project. So
how many are you right now?
So we have like 14 developers, plus we have all the advisors from the music industry and from the creative fields, and also we are almost 18 from that part, so we have kind of 30 people now in the team.
And we started in brainstorming on the ski slopes weekends, because Sergio was like, hey girls, why don't you look a bit in the marketplace, in the blockchain world? I'm like, oh yeah, let's see what's, and then we started.
Yeah, and thanks to Sergio, we started this also
inspired.
Adventure, because since his many years in blockchain and NFTs collector too, we saw that there was an opportunity and also a creativity there that we would like to. But for Sergio, I think it's the same, or more like in the token model and the economic side, because also we're going to launch a token in March. So we are going to have a public sale. So Sergio is working on the token economics. That is quite complicated, but I think Sergio can talk about the token.
Yeah, so we'll be
but
interested.
I mean, touching your question, I'll give you the academic answer. No? After, in 15 years, I worked on a few projects that didn't work. So you know what it means having an idea and then trying to execute on it. And I think that the real difference here, and I was very reluctant because at the beginning, I mean, just getting into a sort of friendly environment, I would say, hold on a second, no, I mean, I'm gonna really take it seriously if we see that there is a sort of market appreciation. And to be honest, I think we had all the skills because somehow I covered the technology and the crypto skills. So the ability to talk to any protocol, blockchain, partner development, I mean, it was quite easy to get on the phone and pull together the part of the business. With Francesca and Giulia, the ability to move the network in fashion for collaboration, it was very powerful. Then we had Alfredo, who has been a musician for 30 years as well, who actually brought on the table a few friends from his past who were veteran in the music industry. So slowly, this small nucleus of people just build it up. And it built it up with a very solid relationship between the counterparties that were coming together. And that's how from 4 people we became 30 people. And at that stage we said, okay, now we're serious. Like we've been bootstrapping the idea and understanding whether there is a grip. And then we said, there is a grip. So let's go for it.
Yeah, and also...
I mean, it has been the first time in my life I've seen it that strong and that solid. So somehow, I mean, I'm very hopeful on
and also
on the
we
future.
all have a passion, like we all wanted to have a new challenge and something new. So we saw like we had the same goal to do something new at the same moment, and that's very rare between like a group of, you know, people that they know each other, and then covering technology, fashion, having a great network, and to be able to communicate and do cross-cutting projects, it's important. So then it started to evolve naturally, and now we have some team in LA, New York, Italy, and we are very proud to say that Public Pressure is a made in Italy platform, but it's working globally around the world, and we're involving creative people and tech people, and that's what really makes NFTs so special, the combination of technology, creativity, but done with content. So we filter NFTs to put on our platform. We just don't want to have 100,000 of NFTs just because we want to own NFTs. Sure. From the single NFTs to the many NFTs, you know, we want to have content and be beautiful NFTs. Beautiful. That
we want to give an experience, and also we have one of the major label in EDM music that is our partner. So also we are partnering like with managers and people in the music industry that are really out there, representing a lot of artists. So we have kind of, as Sergio said, all the fields covered. That is quite rare for a startup. So
it seems before we open the questions to the public. So what do you think are the next big things in this environment, in the NFT and the metaverse world?
One important, I mean, like we are basically building on Polygon, which is a greener blockchain, and so we.
I think, metaverse. It's more.
Metaverse.
Yeah, more Sergio side of aspect.
But I mean, I would reverse. I mean, the question. The idea is that we invented electricity because blockchain is like electricity. If I'm looking from an academic perspective, it will be a pervasive technology that in the future we'll know is there, but we will not wonder how it works, because I don't think most of people knows how electricity works. I know I can push a button or plug something and it's going to just light up, right? I mean, that's the way we use it. So the question is, how am I going to be able to use it for? And that's where I think the creative input is very important, because it's not really just about inventing new stuff. It's about understanding how to use it. And in this respect, we are really at the beginning. My read on the Steve Aoki 20-second loop with a small 3D, it's like we just started. It's like the little stickers that you collect when you are a kid at school, 5-6 years old, and you exchange with friends. But then if you want to be a collector and you grow up, you're going to have paintings on your wall. And that's a different game. That's about understanding where to put your money. It's about understanding if that thing is going to grow in value. And it becomes almost a business model. And that's where I think we want to move NFTs. That was the logic under which we build the company. How can we transform something very premature into a piece of art, where music and other form of art are going to come together, create one thing, because the NFT, it's one thing, and it can have inside fashion design, it can have music, it can have visual art, it can have video, it can have everything we want, how we can make it work. And that's for us is already big enough of the value proposition to say that that's where we're going to spend our attention. Then, I mean, we could build a stadium in the metaverse, have DJs singing,
parties in
nights,
metaverse,
fashion shows.
Waiting for that.
Waiting for that. Parties in metaverse, DJs, or you can buy an NFT from a DJ, be yourself as avatar of a DJ and playing what you think is cool for the DJ. So I think metaverse, it's a new thing and a new word that everyone is going to, few people are going to explore now, and maybe in future everyone is going to explore. So yeah.
Yeah, I have also my reading on this. I believe sooner or later our phones will not be, the filter of our lives. I kind of see it going more towards goggles, and it will be very interesting, I think, because I see the integration of physical and digital as well as the future step of all digital assets, because I believe we are social animals. We need to be together and be outside. We cannot live inside a box and not see each other. So a tool that will integrate the quality of our life together with the digital version of our life, I think could potentially be the next step. But again, it's my personal thinking on this. Maybe we can open some questions from the public, if you guys feel something of your interest might be. Yes?
I have one question. When you're talking about the marketplace, the main issue for whoever works with NFTs is to get the traffic, right? So it's more about, you can put your creation on a certain, open space or what have you, but if you're an unknown, it won't help you. So the idea is to do something with the communities, Discord. What do you do to bring traffic?
So
Specific, creators.
Yeah, we work with the traditional PR and crypto PR. So with the crypto PR, we're working mainly on Twitter and Telegram and Discord, and with traditional PR mainly with the press. But of course, depends. Like for each drop, we're going to help each artist to try to sell best, and of course, we ask the artist to tweet and do something to create a bigger community to come and buy the NFTs. And other things that we're going to do on the platform, we are working with big brands at the moment, so we suggest to them to do like a kind of airdrop, so give for free few thousand NFTs to their super fan, so they can come on the platform, also understand how does it work, because our platform is not only for crypto, but also for super fans, so they can download the NFT, they can download a wallet, so we're going to explain what is a wallet, how you're going to use it, and so it's really important also that part for us to teach the community how to use wallet, what is NFT, and that's a big part of our project.
Any other question?
If you looked 5 years into the future, how would the world be different based on your company and your activities? It's really what is success for you within the company, but what is also success for you in moving the general society?
Can I take it first?
Yeah. Well.
That's the best way I can put it. The people that you meet in the square, which are artists, creative, and they are singing for a few pennies and performing to people with a few pennies. Those people will live in a house because through blockchain will be able to, easily bring their creative production into other people that like them, and you create a sustainable business model for artists, which today they don't have, because unless they're very big and they have important contracts, they're going to struggle, and that's the reason why they have to sing in the square to raise a few pennies to be able to see whether they're going to see a future. So if we achieve that, we're quite happy.
Yeah, no, I think it also is going to be as there is like other platforms that are doing like on blockchain streaming. So I think it's to democratize the music in a way, because now musicians they're earning a little with the streaming. So with Spotify and all this, they're not happy of the result. So I think in 5 years, a lot of musicians are going to be in our platform to sell their arts and to earn more money comparing with the streaming companies. That's yeah.
Yeah, and also a lot of each of girlfriends I will involve them to have their own wallet so they can shop, on the blockchain, and then they can still buy physical things, but it's also you can have those two words, So maybe to be a bit less consumistic in the future would be good for each of us, in a possible,
Sustainable future.
Sustainable future, like a sustainable future also. Yeah.
So I'm still undecided on how the fashion comes into it. I understand the concept. I understand the music part of it. I'd rather have music than just looking at something in my wall and a piece of art. But how does the fashion come into it?
Yeah, it's an interesting phase, because fashion is adopting now to NFTs, while maybe soccer is more advanced into NFTs. They're really prepared since 1 year. So we are talking to soccer team, and we find very easy to do a project with them. While fashion, they're curious, and we start building something maybe to have unique pieces as a redeemable after NFTs. So it's still an open market, and for each company is different. So we're trying the best synergy with them. So there is not a definite answer. For each fashion companies, it's a different experience, and so we are talking to them and being as creative as possible.
Yeah,
right, Stefano?
Yeah,
it's
it's interesting, because now it's that year zero of trial and error. So a lot of the fashion brands that I'm seeing as well, on my experience, are trying to do different projects. Either an artistic interpretation of their creativity, and it can be a graphical one, or a digital version of fashion goods that they have. What's good, in this environment is that you can be as creative as you want, because you don't have any physical restriction that you have in the real life. So that's the fun part that fashion company want to explore more, is to be able to have full capacity on their creativity, because literally a dress could be on fire and be available in the digital world. So it's a new world opening for them, and now they are in the testing phase.
Yeah.
A simple example can be, I don't know, we have seen avatars coming in NFTs. So instead of having, I don't know, a t-shirt which is yellow, you can have, using a Versace shirt, which is a limited edition for that particular collection.
Yeah, with a QR code, of course, that
is connected to the physical
good.
Yeah, also like we are thinking to do like an NFT with a famous musician, and he's going to wear in a video, or like a 3D video, as Sergio said, like a bespoke t-shirt or shirt from Gucci, and then that piece can be redeemable, or then that piece can be sold in the metaverse as you dress your avatar. So it's a kind of, as we said, it's like we can do everything in a way.
Experimental moment.
And I think for fashion brand, it's a great opportunity. They need to go inside deeper and find a way to do it, because some of them they're still like trying few things with no really understand what's the best way, because we are still in a really early phase.
So it's very interesting. I mean, if you have a look, there are a few people that put their metaverse art gallery online, so you can have a look at what they purchase. So you see sculptures, you see paintings on the wall, and then sometimes you see something that doesn't really work. You have a couple of hanging shoes there, which was the fashion brand NFTs.
Yeah.
And then maybe you have Mickey Mouse on the other side. So there's been a lot of chats on Twitter that you'd be good to see them together because you prefer to have Mickey Mouse maybe wearing the shoes because that's the way that you look at it in the metaverse, rather than having these things always separated. So everyone does his own and is going to chuck it into market. And that's where we are trying to combine, this exercise of combination, but it can have multiple applications.
Aspect,
Yeah, but not only with fashion, also with like we're working with a really famous Italian motorbike brand, and they want to start using the motto design inside NFTs, maybe with musicians. So that's also a way to bring the brand to a different community they never reached before, because now, as you know, 95% of the NFT community is crypto investor. And so also for brand is an opportunity to have a new customer that they didn't have before. So it's a kind of win-win situation, I have to say.
And that's become brand positioning. It's like in the past when MTV was born. Suddenly you have a video and music, and then you start having product positioning from fashion brands and other brands in those music videos. So can NFT be the same? Could be.
So I have a question as well, another one, sorry. How do you see this rise of new communities? Because what's interesting, and I find very interesting in this world, is that you have these new communities popping up, that don't care about having a real Ferrari, but care about having a CryptoPunk.
Yeah.
Right? So, and it amazed me that they want to spend and invest a lot of money there rather than buy something physical and tangible. But they are a tribe. They speak the same language, they do the same things like I used to do when I was maybe looking for my fashion cool stuff when I was younger. So what's your feeling about these communities?
But it's like, it's a different community. Everyone is on Twitter only, as you know, and they use the CryptoPunk as their profile picture. So in a way, it's a kind of show off. As you have a Ferrari, because you have the CryptoPunk for 2.2 million, you're show off that your face is 2.2 million. So in a way, it's the same as have like a custom-made, I don't know, jacket from Versace or a Ferrari. So in a way, I think is that right? And it's a new community. It's a new way to think also, because no one think in this way. Everything was product to touch. So
it seems like a new way to aggregate. Like, I don't know, I've been recently very interesting to read everything about how society got together, right? So if you start back to history, in the prehistory, you had people coming together because they were worried about being eaten by dinosaurs. Then slowly, we increased this community by creating economic environment as the European Union, and now we are going into sort of global society. I mean, that's the way I think. A global society needs to find a different way to connect rather than your city, your state, your culture, your language, your industry is a different way. I need to go across these sort of old ways. And crypto is finding its way into it, because the difference is that they're global. These communities on Twitter is on metaverse, because you have Chinese talking with you. I mean, they are all over the place within the existing society. And that's how they're learning how to come together and manage themselves as a sort of, they like to say self-sovereign society, because somehow the idea of blockchain is that you can automate the use of a lot of stuff and take away a lot of intermediaries. So that is going to be another discussion. But that's the way I look at it. So they're building their own, even the metaverse. I read an interview from, I think he's an Indian guy, sorry I don't remember the name, who bought quite a lot of NFTs for quite a lot of money. And he made this example which stuck in my mind. If you go in a city like Berlin, you see that the walls are covered by graffitis in a sort of sense of the society that they own the space where they are, right? But it's one of the only places, because most of the places, the graffiti get chopped away, they have to be cleaned out, people don't like it. So suddenly all these people moved into the metaverse and they say, now we can own the land. Like, even if it's I can own the land, I can own the wall, and I can put my art. So there is also this need to own and show the way that we're going to go. But it cannot be self-imposed by above, but it has to be decided by us. That's how the tribe is it's working out. That's how I translated this.
And
this
also you have to
aggregation of
say the
people.
age is like varies, because you start from 15 years old to 55. So you have like it's not also about the age, it's about really the community, also the strange things that we notice also doing meetings and with people in the blockchain, that everyone is coming from different backgrounds. Not everyone is like only tech. Like we found people from fashion, from art. So also it's a new field that a lot of people with different backgrounds, they want to jump in, and it's quite rare, I have to say. It's an interesting moment to live.
But it's very fascinating, I mean, seeing where this world is taking us, how it's going to change and impact our lives in the future. It's very hard to foresee somehow as well. Okay, if there are no more questions, I think you can probably stop our first panel here. I want to thank everyone
Thank you,
for
Stefano.
coming.
Thank you.
We had fun.
Thank you, Stefano.
Thank you very much.